Inequality is a major issue today, not only in the United States but also globally. Some of these issues consist of poverty, women's inequality, such as violence against women, water shortage, gender inequality, all of which are resulting in a global crisis. India, Iraq, Africa, and the UK are some of the many places around the world that are facing inequality. Many of these countries have high rates of poverty and gender inequality. Beginning with Africa, there are many problems that need to be discussed. In Africa, children are left with a poor education, poor nutrition, and low future productivity. These inequalities are not just faced by those most directly affected by disadvantage, but these inequalities are widespread and often growing. In India, water and inequality are simply intertwined. There seems to be a huge problem when it comes to clean water, or any water for that matter. Many people have no access to water, while others find ways to water by taking illegal measures. Many women and young girls have to carry the burden of collecting water for their families, where they have to travel long distances. Because of this burden, many of the girls have to sacrifice their education so that they can take the time to go find water, which also makes it harder for these females and their families to climb out of poverty. Poverty around the world is another major global crisis. For example, in India, according to the 2011 census, out of 79 million urban households, 18.6% are without a toilet. More than 65% of the country's population is living in rural areas, where having access to water is clearly a huge challenge. Out of the 187 countries on the Gender Inequality Index, India is ranked number 132, which is even lower than Pakistan. Gender inequality is especially relevant in India because it excludes women from social opportunities. For example, only 29% of the Indian women above the age of 15 are part of the country's labor force, compared to 80% of men in the year of 2011. Education and health in India for women is also very low, compared to males. In India, only 26% of the women above the age of 25 have received a secondary education, compared to 50% of men. As compared to the United States, 97% of women have received a secondary education, which is even higher than men at 94%. Another global inequality is violence against women, which is simply an ongoing crisis, and the need for individuals to speak up and support equality for women is in need. For example, in the UK, help organizations that deal with victims of violence against women say it is crucial that more men speak out against the problems and get involved in changing attitudes in society. For years now, women all over the world have led efforts to prevent and put an end to violence. But today, now more than ever, men are standing up and showing support for women's equality. More often than not, women are more likely to be victims of violence, making the support from males extremely important to spread this awareness and hopefully help put an end to violence against women. In order to help make change when it comes to global inequality, many global actions need to take place. Government leaders need to start making laws and regulations in order for change to occur. Accountability is solely at the core of all of this. People need to take into account what is going on in our world today. People need to take action, and more importantly, be accountable for their actions. Those not affected by inequality also need to be made aware of these issues. Becoming aware and spreading awareness to others, such as this video, will help spread this important topic of global inequality. Globalization has resulted in many of these issues, as well as social stratification. Differences of inequality have led to greater status, power, and privilege among humans, and closing this gap will be the key to equality.